Can life take an unexpected turn? I, Henry, learned the answer to this question in the most painful way. I was a man deeply committed to the concepts of marriage, trust, and fidelity. In our 15 years of happy marriage, my love for my wife Polly never diminished. However, everything changed with the arrival of a new boss at her office. Before we dive into my story, don't forget to subscribe and like this video to not miss out on the most striking stories about cheating in marriage. Now I invite you on this emotional journey. If you're ready, let's start our video. The late-night texts and post-work meetings became the new norm for my wife. Even though she provided plausible explanations for each event, the jealousy inside me slowly began to boil. Overflowing with doubts, jealousy, and curiosity, I had no choice but to discover the truth. Thus, I reached out to a private detective agency. I explained the situation to them and asked them to do everything to uncover only the truth. I had to make this decision because something inside me was saying that I couldn't ignore what was happening. 3 months later, the file I received confirmed my worst fears. Video recordings showed Polly's secret meetings with her new boss at work. Audio recordings revealed their intimate and secretive conversations. Photos exposed the private moments they shared. These evidences openly displayed her betrayal. Each record broke my heart a little more. Without hesitation, I called my lawyer Grant to initiate the divorce proceedings. Afterward, I decided to sabotage their secret meeting on Thursday night, thus catching Polly and her boss at their most vulnerable. The secret meeting planned for Thursday night was the peak of the betrayal. This meeting was to take place at a luxury restaurant outside the city. The participants were only Polly and her boss. I learned about this through hidden listening devices placed by the detective. I saw that night as an opportunity to catch Polly and her boss at their most vulnerable. When Thursday night came, I arrived at the venue early and generously tipped the waitress. Thus, Polly and her boss would be seated away from curious eyes. Polly thought I was out of town, but when she and her boss sat down at the table, I was there too. When I entered the venue and saw Polly and her boss, my heart tightened. Polly was dressed in a way I had never seen before. Listening to their conversations, I heard how eagerly Polly had planned the meeting with her boss. Each sentence caused the anger inside me to build up. I approached them and both did not notice me. However, when I pulled a chair from a nearby table and sat at their table, a mix of shock and guilt appeared on Polly's face. Even though Polly tried to cover up the situation, I already knew everything. When I presented Polly with the divorce papers, I saw the shock on her and her boss's faces. However, they had to pay the price for what they did. After signing the divorce papers, I left them there and walked away. After that night, the atmosphere in our home completely changed. Although Polly continued to spend time with our children, the intimacy between us never returned to what it was. I focused on my work and ensuring my children were well. Polly's actions reminded me that the most important thing was the happiness of my family and children. Polly's life spiraled into chaos after these events. She lost her position and respect at work, as well as her credibility within the family. Her apologies and remorse were not enough to lighten the weight of what had happened. She had to face the consequences of her own actions, which was not an easy process for her. The betrayal was not only a crime committed against us, but also an act that deeply shook her own inner peace and happiness.